Today I'm making a video to explain these guys right here and kind of what they do. This is just going to be a beginner's guide. It's going to be just an easy way to help people understand how capacitors work. I'm not going to go into great details about each individual one and all the functions of them, but just kind of give a description of a way to explain what capacitors do to make people understand, to help them build circuits. So here we go. Okay, capacitors are a passive component that we use. They're kind of a storage tank for electricity. And picture it this way. Picture voltage being air pressure and the air itself being the current. So if you look at a battery, picture it being as an air compressor motor, and then a capacitor being a storage tank. So as the air compressor motor turns on, builds up air pressure, it stores it into a storage tank. And once the storage tank gets full, it puts out the air and the air pressure. So if the voltage being the air pressure, if this air compressor motor can only put out 9 psi, then it will only put 9 psi worth of voltage into this capacitor here. So whatever the amount of voltage that you're putting into a circuit, you don't want your you want your capacitors to match or exceed that amount. It's just like having an air compressor that would put out a 200 psi, but then having a 100 psi storage tank. The air compressor motor would put out too much pressure and would blow the storage tank up, and that's what'll happen to your capacitor, especially if they're electrolytic. They'll blow up on you. So picture it that way. As this builds up pressure, this stores it. All right, let's go to the breadboard, and I'll kind of show you what they're doing right here with this simple circuit. This is kind of just a LED fader circuit. Okay, what I've done here is just built this circuit. I got a push button switch here, 500 ohm resistor, and then here I'm running the capacitors, the electrolytic capacitor, and then here we have our LED, and then we have our resistor to limit the LED. Okay, and then once we press the button, we're going to have current flow through. It'll charge the capacitor up as the button's pressed, and as we let the button go, the capacitor, the amount of energy stored in it will drain, and as you'll see, as the LED starts to fade and dim, and the amount of time it takes the LED to fade depends on how much capacitance is in this capacitor. So the larger the capacitor, the slower the fade. Okay, what I have here is a push button feeding to this resistor, through this resistor here, and then behind here I have a 220 microfarad capacitor that leads to the LED here. And as I press the button, and you can see there is a slight fade instead of it just, immediately killing the circuit to the LED. All right, now we're going to hook up the capacitor that's in the back here, which is 500 microfarad. It's 470 microfarad. And as you see, we have a slower fade. All right, now we have the 1000 microfarad capacitor. And we have an even longer fade on it. So as you can see, the current's going into the capacitor and it's filling it up, and then it's discharging it. So the larger the capacitor, the more current is stored in it, and you can tell the difference as it's taking it the LED longer to dissipate the energy in it. Okay, now I have it on the scope. charging the capacitor, and you can watch as it slowly decharges. Charge it again, and that's as the LED fades. Let me change to a smaller capacitor. Goes up, comes down. So they're storage tanks. So the larger the capacitor, the more energy it stores. Like I said, this is the small capacitor. This is the 470 microfarad. All right, so there you have it. It's that simple. These little guys, they store energy. There's some other usage for them also. I'll probably make some more videos and explain the different types of capacitors. Go into a little bit more detail about exactly what they're doing and how we use them in circuits. If anybody has any questions or they don't really understand what I'm saying, just leave a comment down below and I'll get back with anybody on it. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. You guys have a good day.